The wail of sirens and the screech of tires still rang in Fire Chief Tom Bradley's ears as he pulled into his driveway, bone-tired after a 14-hour battle against a warehouse blaze that nearly swallowed his crew whole. Running on 2 hours of sleep and a few cups of bitter coffee, his chest swelled with quiet pride every firefighter had made it home alive. But as he reached for the handle of his fire command truck, his mobile lifeline packed with radios, evacuation plans, and hazmat schematics, his hand closed on empty air. The truck was gone. Vanished. His lawn looked freshly raked, the concrete faintly scarred with tire marks. For a moment, exhaustion made him doubt his own eyes. Then he saw a neon yellow note taped to his front door. Your vehicle has been removed for violating HOA visual standards. Non-compliant vehicles will be towed at owner's expense. HOA enforcement. Tom's soot-streaked face tightened, his eyebrows climbing toward his hairline. This wasn't just any truck. It was a federally registered emergency command vehicle, a rolling nerve center for disasters. And the HOA had towed it because it wasn't pretty enough? Clutching the note, Tom exhaled sharply, staring at the empty spot where his truck had sat for 4 years, uncomplained about, with its reflective stripes and municipal seal. A neighbor's curtain twitched across the street. Another's garage door slammed shut. Then came a voice, dripping with smug satisfaction. About time someone cleaned up that eyesore, it crowed. Tom turned to see Susan Carver, HOA president, standing on the sidewalk, arms crossed like she'd just vanquished a public menace. That truck was tanking property values, she said with a smirk. You're welcome. Tom's jaw clenched. That truck, he said, each word a controlled detonation, is a state-certified command unit. Towing it isn't just illegal, it's dangerous. Susan yawned theatrically. Then park it where it doesn't ruin my morning coffee view. Before Tom could respond, his radio crackled. Chief Bradley, 10 to 91 at Roosevelt Middle. Possible chemical fire. Hazmat en route. Need field command now. His stomach dropped. A school. Hundreds of kids. And his truck, the hub for coordinating chaos, was missing. With no time to argue, Tom sprinted to his personal car, heart hammering not from fatigue, but from dread. Susan watched, oblivious, as he peeled out. At the scene, smoke choked the air, sirens wailed, and flashing lights painted the chaos. Without the command truck, radios sputtered, coordination between fire, hazmat, and EMTs frayed, and every lost second burned like acid. Tom made it work, always did, but the delay gnawed at him. Hours later, after the fire was out and the kids safe, he sat on a scorched ambulance hood, exhaustion giving way to cold, precise anger. Susan hadn't just towed a truck. She'd gambled with lives. At 7:30 a.m., Tom was at the tow yard, uniform crisp, badge gleaming. The manager, mid-donut, barely looked up. Name: Chief Bradley. Here for my city vehicle. The man froze, then led Tom to the truck, surrounded by junkers. Its beacon was dismantled, tossed in the back seat. The dashboard computer, loaded with critical mapping data, was gone. Tom snapped photos, his voice low. Who authorized this? The manager shrugged. HOA president. Said it was unauthorized junk. Tom's eyes narrowed. You'll need a statement. This is a legal matter now. At City Hall, he met the assistant city attorney, a sharp woman who muttered, "Holy hell," at his evidence. Photos, the HOA note, a timeline. They towed an emergency unit without clearance, she said. That's tampering. She opened a case on the spot. That evening, neighbors whispered as Tom headed to the HOA meeting. He wore his formal uniform, gold braid glinting, a copy of the municipal code in hand. The room fell silent as he entered. Susan, perched at the head like a suburban monarch, offered a saccharine smile. Chief Bradley, here to clear up the misunderstanding? Tom's smile was ice. I'm here to clarify that you violated 3 state laws, 2 federal clauses, and emergency protocols. Your tow delayed our response to a school fire, possibly injuring a firefighter. You didn't just tow a truck, you endangered lives. The room froze. Susan's smile cracked. I'll see you in court, Tom said, leaving her breathless and the crowd buzzing. The next morning, the firehouse hummed with tension. His crew knew the tow wasn't just an inconvenience, it was a betrayal. Lieutenant Ramirez handed Tom a tablet. A local news headline screamed, HOA tows fire chief's emergency truck, delays school fire response. The story, with a photo of the unplugged truck, spread like wildfire. Tom gathered every document, registration, FEMA designations, dispatch logs, and filed a complaint with the city. He also called the state fire marshal and the city audit committee. Susan had tugged a thread tied to the entire emergency system. That night, a Channel 7 reporter filmed Tom by the damaged truck. "This isn't a personal vehicle," he said, voice steady. "It's a lifeline. Its removal risked our community. It won't happen again." The clip went viral, igniting outrage. A former HOA board member, Emily, messaged Tom. "Susan made unilateral decisions. I resigned over it. I have proof." At a coffee shop, she handed over a folder stuffed with emails and financial records. One email from Susan to the tow company, dated days before the tow, read, "I don't care if it's a fire truck. That red monstrosity goes before the open house." It was premeditated, not policy or vanity. At the HOA's transparency meeting, Susan spun her usual charm, but Tom arrived with evidence. He handed out packets and spoke. "This isn't about parking. It's about obstructing public safety and abusing power." Susan knew the truck's purpose. Emily stood, backing him. "I warned her." She called it an eyesore in a sea of class. Gasps rippled. Susan stammered, "These accusations are absurd." But the board president silenced her. Outside, residents swarmed Tom, sharing their own Susan stories. Fines for visible trash cans, a banned wheelchair ramp. Her reign was crumbling. The board called for an audit of Susan's decisions. That night, a thank you note appeared on Tom's door. "You stood up to her. Thank you." The fire marshal called next, confirming HOA violations: blocked hydrants, illegal fences, a fire lane turned parking lot. All Susan's doing. Construction approvals were frozen. Then an anonymous tip exposed Carver Solutions, a shell company under Susan's daughter's name, siphoning HOA funds. 2 board members resigned, citing Susan's coercion. The city assigned a financial auditor, and her empire collapsed. Tom focused on the truck, working with engineers to restore its systems. It wasn't just equipment, it was trust. At a neighborhood barbecue hosted by the fire station, kids played on the restored truck, now a symbol of defiance. A sign read, "Reserved for Chief Bradley. Towing triggers city response." Residents cheered. Susan, meanwhile, unraveled. Her email stopped, her lawn withered, her daughter left town. The audit uncovered fake invoices and triple-billed projects. The city filed charges: obstruction, fraud, code violations. In court, Tom testified calmly, detailing the tow's impact. Photos of the damaged truck and Susan's damning email sealed her fate. She was found guilty, fined heavily, banned from HOA leadership, and forced to issue a public apology, her voice shaking. The neighborhood exhaled. New HOA leader Maria Lopez rebuilt trust, inviting Tom to be an emergency liaison. He agreed, insisting on a fire lane plaque, protected by law. Kids drew chalk flames on his driveway, one handing him a crayon thank you for being brave. As Tom sat on his porch, his dog dozing, the truck gleamed under a new plaque. Susan had tried to break a system built on service, but the community fought back with truth. She'd regroup, maybe, but now they were ready with a fire chief who didn't just fight fires, but lit the way.